Ooh, hey,
We
what's
still
up?
don't have an
What's
intro for this show, do we?
up?
It's that good that it
What's
doesn't even need an
up?
intro.
The show
It's
that
no,
needs no introduction. Welcome, my friends, to this week's episode of the Business Building Book Club with the one and only Lefty the Video Jedi, Mark the Mental Marketer, and Molly, the one who
Molly.
likes to read books. So we are here finishing up this incredible book that we've been reading the last couple weeks that was suggested by Lefty, The Brand Gap. Oh my goodness. This book blows the format of traditional books, especially in the business world,
Yeah.
completely out of the water. We're going to cover some things that are really, really important. Last week, we did a little bit of an overview. We gave our first thoughts, and it was pretty interesting because we're talking about the brand gap, that space in between our strategy and our design. And I always thought this was a chasm. This was supposed to be two different silos. But no. We
yeah.
have learned not only the importance of building that bridge, but also how to do it. And so in today's episode, we are going to cover the 5 different disciplines that have to do with brand building, as mentioned in this book. So I'm super excited. Mark, you're coming in from sweaty hot Texas. How are you doing today?
Hooray for Hollywood! Hooray for Hollywood! I'm actually, not only am I coming from Texas, but I'm in Texas and I'm doing the Harlem Shake.
I love it. I love it. Lefty,
Morning,
is it as smoky as it is here for you?
We came into the area yesterday and we literally thought we were driving into like an apocalypse. Like
Really?
the the smoke was actually like lower than the tree lines. Like you could see haze over the tree lines, like
Yeah.
Mhm.
they're actually I saw this thing on TikTok yesterday where I don't know if they were talking about today Thursday or like last week Thursday, but I watched this video where it pretty much said that if you're smelling like a plastic in the air, then yeah, there's a benzene and formaldehyde in the air, so you gotta limit how much you're outside today, especially if they were referring to this today as Thursday. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah,
friends.
it's bad.
You should wear a mask, I think.
Yep.
To prevent from inhaling all of those chemicals. It's almost as bad as probably being in a house fire, from what I've heard.
Yeah, and so in the previous weeks that we've had these wildfire smokes coming in, it's been in the higher upper atmosphere, so you get a faint smell. You see haze that changes the sunrise and the sunset, but it didn't really interfere. Now it's bad. Like I couldn't see to the other side of the parking lot yesterday. It was just this total white haze everywhere. They're telling us to like don't turn your fans on in your house, even just to let everything, don't dust in your house, don't vacuum in your house, just let everything settle and don't do anything to pollute the air quality around you. I'm like, oh great, I get to be outside all day today.
no, geez,
It's gonna be fun. Ugh. But anyways, that's the
Take care
boring
of yourself.
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Take care of yourself there.
I will be doing archery and running around for the morning, and then I'm a duck inside as quick as I can. But the brand gap, my friend. So for those of you who didn't join us previously, I have to remind you, this is the coolest like business picture book I've ever seen. Fantastic. Shout outs to Jen, who's back with us again in the chat this week. She
What's up,
is
Jen?
reigning supreme as our most active member of the Business Building Book Club for this month. And so maybe just maybe, we have some surprises coming your way.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to give some shout outs.
Absolutely.
For a few people that have been watching, and I've been getting reaching out and saying, "Hey, Mark, I see you on this morning video. I get the alert on my phone. Are you actually live?" Yes, we are live. We are live. So let me. I've got your comments. I want to throw out a couple shots out there because I know you guys are watching either on my personal profile, on the Mental Marketer YouTube channel, or inside of my Funnel Building 101 group. I've got Paul Fortunato. What's up? He hashtagged MDS in the comments. So I have a link to get a free copy of that, free digital copy of that book. He commented MDS. We sent him a copy. I want to give a shout out to JDE Digital Marketing. What's up, Janice? What's up? Great seeing you out there. Thanks for tuning in with us. Those are just a couple of shout outs, but hey, I think what are we doing this month with some giveaways?
Absolutely. I love working collaboratively with other entrepreneurs in this space. And one thing I love that I really one thing that really attracted me when I started working with Mark is that he does these really awesome giveaways in his group. And he doesn't, I've always thought of giveaways as like swag, right? Stuff without a goal, just like stuff with your logo on it with no real purpose. But Mark's like, no, we need to move forward. We need to learn as a community. We need to be better together. And so he does giveaways of books. What a brilliant idea. Audiobooks and all that kind of stuff. So we have a ton of great books sitting around on our shelves. We got extra copies just to give away to you guys. So we're still ironing out the details, and feel free to help us with that. But what we'd like you guys to do, or what we'd like to do for you guys, is to give you free books. In order to be in the running for one of the books, you gotta come join us, whether you are live or on the replay, whether you're watching on the visibility hacking channels or on Lefty's channels or on Mark's channels. We want you to be involved in these conversations. The books we've picked out are revolutionizing the way that we think about business and branding, and we want that to happen for you as well. Join us, comment, engage in the conversation. If we send you a copy of a book that we've already read through, then check out the episodes we've already done. Join the conversation again. We will jump back in those comments for you. I promise.
Yeah, so smash that heart button so we know that you're engaged. We know you're watching. Smash, if not for me, smash it for Lefty right here.
Do it. I'm here. I'm ready.
Amazing. All right. So we are going to dive straight into the 5 main points of this book. So we've covered why it's so important to have branding and what branding is and isn't. There was a lot of eye-opening moments, but today, let's talk quickly about discipline 1, which is differentiate. We talked a little bit about it last week. We'll touch on it super quick, and then we'll get to the rest of the disciplines. So differentiation is where we define ourselves as different from our competition. So in traditional business words, we would hear things like, this is your unique selling proposition. And we need to enable that to weave through all of our branding. Remember, brand is that feeling, that gut instinct that your people have about your brand. It's not about you, it's about them. So, Lefty, what are your thoughts on differentiation? I know you are fantastic with video, and you use video to help differentiate your clients from the market. You help them stand out from the noise. So what are your thoughts on that process?
Yeah, I mean, the simplest way of being different is we live in a world of iPhone users or Android users. Like, you just standing out and being different is hiring a videographer with like a professional camera to do your content, right?
Yes.
Instead of just like, everyone's going to scroll through, they're going to see an iPhone video after iPhone video. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, this is different. This is a little bit more polished. This looks nice, right? I mean, you can even go as far as not hiring a videographer, but taking like a cheaper alternative and go with like a GoPro or anything like that. Like get an action camera. Obviously understand that, you're still going to get an amazing quality like you would film with a camera, but you have a very wide angle lens. So that's the simplest way of differentiating yourself in this market space. That's my 2 cents on that, because we can go further and further and further.
Yes.
What are your thoughts, Mark?
I saw your mouth moving. Okay. The differentiation to me means when everyone else is zigging, that's when you zag. When everybody zigs, you zag. I've seen a great example of it this week, and well, I'll say recently in an advertising campaign for the Toyota Prius,
Okay.
the electric car. You see, I've seen a lot of these. I think Priuses have had this preconceived notion of not being a fast vehicle, but it mostly being just about efficiency and economy and that market. But now they have transformed their image from being just economical to being a zippy car and more of a fashionable, fast design. And that's how I implement those strategies is you look at what everybody else is doing and you throw that out the window. You throw that out the window and you say, you know what? Everybody else is doing lives and I'm gonna do lives while I'm at the river tubing last weekend.
But like to complicate that a little bit, he talks in the book about the fear of in the process of differentiation, what happens when we go too far. And I love that you bring up the Prius example because in the book he brings up the Volvo example. So Volvo is traditionally known as a safe car. That is their brand. That is the gut feeling their people get. But when now they're trying to switch that a little bit more, they're trying to expand, they're trying to have sleek and cool and fun cars that also still play to safety. With Porsche, for example, or Porsche or Porsche or however you want to pronounce it.
It's Porsche right next to Tarjay.
Exactly. And so with that example, Porsche is known as being a very sleek, upscale kind of brand. Yet when they came out with an SUV model, it was seen as stretching a little bit too far and coming at the tail end of when everyone else was zigging. Porsche decided to zig with everyone else. So I love that Prius is really... I think it's an evolution of the Prius brand. I think there was a few, it really speaks to a life cycle of the customer of a Prius.
And speaking about that Porsche SUV, it was like, to be honest with you, shortly after Lamborghini did it. And I honestly think the Lamborghini SUV is actually sexier than the Lamborghini itself. Like, to be honest with you.
It is. Yeah. But so differentiation, making yourself stand out. I was actually at an NBA draft party last week. It was just last week. I tell you, I've had the most
Mark,
amazingly just crazy excited. I became a cat dad for a little bit last week as also And I don't like cats. I'm not a cat person.
Let me just take a moment to poll the audience. Who is a cat person? Let us know in the chat, because I'm not.
No.
No. The hair was all in my nose. Oh, no. If you're a cat person, hashtag in the comments.
I am a dog person covered in dog hair. Dog hair is fine. Cat hair, not okay. Not okay. So the next chapter we talk about here, the next discipline is collaborate, which I think the three of us love to do. So tell me what you guys think about this chapter title in this section. It takes a village to build a brand. I thought that was brilliant. So Mark, what do you think about that?
It's, I'm always stressing this. I'm always stressing the importance of relationships and building a community and reaching out to other people. We were, I think we were just talking about this not recently when, I call it, not OPP, but other people's audiences. And and you've heard of that Dream 100 strategy.
Yeah.
But when you, and one thing I love about all three of us as well is because we have our own audiences, and then we have our combined audiences. And it gives your audience an opportunity to see you, but then you introduce them to something that you may not be might not be the expert in, but together we all make up these small pieces of a full puzzle. And I remember coming into this space and everyone seemed so standoffish and so, oh, they're doing the same thing, or oh, they might cut into my business. But that's really a scarcity mindset. There is plenty, there's plenty to go around for everyone. And I'll give you my example of a business that I ran, MP3, and I was selling it's MP3 players, phone cases. There was this business that opened up almost next door to mine, doing almost the exact same thing. Everybody came to me and said, "Oh my goodness, Mark, what are you going to do? They're gonna undercut you." I said, "Wait, don't panic. Don't panic." I talked to the owner, and I said, "Look, this is how much I'm selling them for. If somebody comes to you and tells you that I'm selling them for less, they're lying." Okay. And I said, "Here's what we can do. I'm selling these cases for $15. Let's raise the price to $18. And I promise I won't undercut, and you promise you won't undercut. Deal." So instead of competing on price and going lower, we collaborated and raised our prices a little bit, but we gained the trust. And he's still a great friend of mine to this day. So collaborations and partnerships should be welcomed, and you shouldn't shy away from partnering up with someone else because you think you might have the same or similar products. Because I think, okay, we're going to talk about differentiation, but that's what really makes us unique. But so if we have our unique proposition, then we shouldn't mind collaborating with others. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah. I completely agree. I'm secretly, when I'm not doing business things and I'm not running around in the forest, I am listening to a really specific style of hip hop.
Really?
And I just found, and from the Midwest, wholesome hip hop kind of stuff.
Wholesome.
Well, I say wholesome because they don't really swear. They're not about the gang life, drug life. It's not like that kind of very urban hip hop. It's more like Midwest farm country. But anyways, I found an artist who is doing incredible as an independent artist, who's actually from the town next door. He's from Markham, Ontario.
No
He's a
way.
local boy.
Really?
And I didn't know that until recently. But what he's done as an independent artist who blew up on TikTok, and now is running all of his stuff on Spotify, it seems. What he does, he did this TikTok series talking about content, and he took a globe and he's like, okay, let's spin the globe. Wherever my finger lands, I'm going to find another independent artist and we're going to collaborate on a track. So he did this like 3 or 4 different times with artists from all over the world, creates incredible music. And when we think about music, we think about I think thinking about business is easier if we think about music and we think about different styles and we think about different audiences. When we collaborate and we create a new piece of music, a new song, we've mixed our 2 genres together. And now we have this beautiful piece of music that speaks to both of our audiences and might even start attracting more. So I say this about Connor Price because he did the cool series where he's spinning the globe and he collaborates with people around the world. Awesome. And now he's releasing albums. I haven't heard a Connor Price original, just him, in a while because he's been focusing so much on really cranking out collaborations with other artists, stretching the idea of what the genre can be, stretching his ability. And I've been able to see an evolution in his music in only a couple of, like, let's say 6 months, which really, when you collaborate, let's go back to business. When you collaborate in business, it's like you're pouring jet fuel into your car. You are going to really take off. When Lefty and I get to work together and create content, the idea I come with is so different than the final product because I started with an idea. Lefty had a different vision, and we put them together to create something better. So, Lefty, I want to know your thoughts on collaboration.
Well,
Good example.
Speaking of you and I getting together, I mean, I feel like we have to start bringing waivers when we when we work together.
Not more injuries.
It gets dangerous sometimes, but
we'll release that footage soon.
But look, the way the book said it about like the whole village analogy there, I've used the same thing but different for a very, very long time. And the way I used to say it and still say it till this day is you cannot win a war without an army.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you like what a lot of people don't understand, and it's very difficult to find these people, okay? You know, the person that might not charge you to, let's say, build a funnel for you to get you those extra clients, if they see the value in you, you now become the go-to person for that person, the copywriter, the editor, the this, the that, right? Like, I think where people fall short is they look at short-term goals. They look at, you know what? I can't do a VSL for Mark because, I need my 10 grand right now, but people don't look at the fact that, like, if Mark's willing to help me and I'm willing to help Mark, we are going to collaboratively give business to each other for the next 20 years. You know what I mean? So I think the most important thing is not just finding anybody to just be like, hey, I don't know you, but you do something cool. Let's collaborate. No, because they might not be in line with your vision and your goals, right? You need to find people that look at your business as their business, and they equally get just as excited when you succeed as when they succeed, right? And I've been fortunate enough to like have people like this in my circle, because at the end of the day, yeah, like us as entrepreneurs, it's a lonely road. It could be very, sad at times because we're not really with a lot of people always. So what do we have if it's not collaboration? Like bringing people into our circle and just, you know, getting the war music on, you know, and just running. And I almost see like the people that help me with my business and me theirs. It's like I almost picture like a scene from Braveheart, and like we're just ready to fight for freedom, you know, and like we just start running at each other, right?
I love the idea that you can't win a war without an army, which speaks to collaboration, but we haven't spoken about collaboration in the right way, guys.
Right.
Remember, your brand is your customer's gut feeling about your business.
Mm,
So when we collaborate, I think if we, no matter what your business is, if you walk into every transaction, every moment of connection in your business as an opportunity to collaborate, whether it's with another business owner, whether it's with a service provider, whether it's with your clients,
Yes.
then you're going to see a transformation. I love work. I'm very picky about who I work with.
Mhm.
And I'm very picky about who gets off my wait list and into my client list, because I don't want to work with just anyone. I want to work with people who I feel excited to collaborate with, who I feel will push me and my designs, push me and my work a little bit further, but who I can also serve value to at the same time, so we can float the boats together. We raise the tides together, just like Mark's story of working with his competition to raise the prices together so that both of them succeed, but they've also built that trust. They've also built something better, that relationship. So I thought
mm,
that was kind of cool.
Yeah. One of the one of the biggest points that I didn't want to miss about working with collaborations is his, well, he calls it 1+1=11.
11.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
there it is right
Yeah.
there. 1+1=11. But it's the most interesting, I don't know if you would call it a philosophy or maybe more of science, but one person trying to do things all alone is overwhelming. I think maybe you've heard stories about if one horse can pull, let's say 1,500 pounds, you would think that with two horses, you could pull 3,000, but no, with two horses, you can pull 10 times as much weight with a partner. I think
Yeah.
that, in my opinion, I think there's two industries that do it very well: Hollywood and the music industry.
Yes.
One of my favorite collaborations from my old school days was Run DMC when they collaborated with Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
Man,
Yes.
Yeah.
walk this way.
And I'm pretty sure that, okay, let's talk music history for a second. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that collaboration is what took hip hop from the streets to mainstream, because that's what got them on MTV, which revolutionized how this entire beautiful genre is now able to interact with more mass markets and be able to touch more people. I wouldn't have been able to find my homey, cozy Midwest hip hop if it wasn't for Aerosmith and Run
Right.
DMC, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to get you a feature inside of our funnel building group.
My favorite Run DMC track is "It's Like That."
Oh, yes.
So
And it's like that. And
And
that's
that's
the way
the way
it
it's just
is.
that kick drum and that bass line. Oh my gosh, it
Did you
gets
play
me
that a
every
lot?
time.
That's on my we workout track playlist.
Nice.
Let's
Nice.
do it every day. All right, this is a perfect segue to welcome and acknowledge our incredible chat today. We have Jen
Yes,
blowing it up, but we also have Sharon Jones joining
Sharon.
us.
Hey,
So
Sharon.
welcome, hi Sharon.
How's
Great to
Sharon?
see you.
Sharon's over in Australia, New Zealand.
Ooh,
Yes. She's
ooh.
She's from
Sharon.
the
Middle of
future.
winter right now. Ooh.
She's from the future.
Yeah.
Sharon, I hope you are enjoying wearing your jandals or whatever you call them in Australia and just enjoying the beautiful winter that it is down under. That's fantastic. So let's move on to discipline number 3, which I think we've already touched on, is innovate. So, Mark, what are your thoughts on this chapter?
I've got my my page marked right here for this here. Innovate.
I got so hungry when I saw that page.
I went to the cookies, I have to admit.
Awesome. Innovation is like an evolution. I see innovation as an evolution, as realizing what your audience is asking about and actually realizing that your brand is not about you, but it really is about what your audience is demanding and what is your audience craving, and how can you continue to improve your either your messaging, your product, or service. Right now, Chat GPT and AI is the biggest innovation out there right now, and being able to offer that as a an additional add-on to my already existing services is it's groundbreaking. But I think you have to innovate or die.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Just like Oreos.
Yeah, I'm in that position right now, I feel.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, everybody out right. Okay, so I don't know if you, I mean, I know you two have been paying attention, but for others that might not have been paying attention, if you notice the content that I put out, I don't put out what you want, right? If you notice that, I don't put out content for what my audience wants, because what you want is not necessarily what you need, right? I work a lot on timeless pieces, right? I made a post about this where I said, do you want to be the classic, or do you want to just be next year's model, right? So and I know that it contradicts everything that literally every guru online says, but I'm literally creating content for me, and in return I'm giving a different perspective to the audience, to the market, where they're saying like, oh, I never would have expected that, like I would even want a video like that, or I needed a video like that, right? Because we're seeing the same thing over and over again, the same reel, the same Facebook, the same YouTube short. It's like we're all just kind of drowning in the same thing. And Molly, you inspired me, actually. Okay, you inspired me with the whole with the whole not creating documenting.
Yeah.
The document don't create.
Yeah, the document don't create. And at that point, that's where everything shifted. That's where I was like, yeah, I'm going to do me. And if it doesn't get me 100 clients, but it gets me 10 clients, at least I know that I'm speaking to the people that I actually care to speak to, right?
And it's most likely those 10 clients who you'll be able to collaborate with in order to innovate with.
Exactly. What? Yeah, exactly. So I've just never been the person to be like, oh, this is what people are looking for right now. Well, let me just do what all 100,000 million other people are doing. I'm always trying to find things that that are new, that are different, that are videos that people might not think they need at the moment. And I've had those, and to be honest with you, I've had those conversations before where I'll get a message 7, 8, 9, 10 months later where it's like, man, I should have listened to you back then. And it's like, yeah, right. Like, I mean, people have to make their own people have to make their own decisions of what they want and what they're looking for. But at the end of the day,
what was your last video? I saw the thumbnail. I hadn't had a chance to watch it though. It looked like a sorry lefty, or
Lefty is awful.
Yeah.
Lefty is awful is well, that's the name of that Black Mirror episode. It's called Joan is Awful. So I just pretty much that episode. We don't need to get into that episode. Feel free to watch it, but it's a Black Mirror episode, and
Okay.
in a nutshell, if what are your thoughts if Netflix did this to us?
Okay.
So watch it, you get more insights, but yeah, it's essentially I'm cracking down on a Black Mirror episode, and obviously, as we all know, making it relevant to business owners.
You're with that trending topics. You're there.
I broke my bi-weekly posting schedule because I needed to get this out sooner.
So, Mark, what are your thoughts on the Innovate chapter?
Oh, Innovate. Innovate or die.
I
love the Oreos s'mores.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but innovation is necessary. Even going through with right now, we're doing some different changes, things, switching over to the new software with ClickFunnels 2.0. We've got new features and just different types of reactions that we're working with, and giving the opportunity for people to actually interact with videos. If you've seen, they've got software out there that allows you to make, sort of interactive videos where you can click something on the screen, and based on what that selection is, it might take them to a different video. So I love innovation and always moving forward, and being not just in the area, but being the first to do those things.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. The part of this chapter that I really want to highlight was about logos. So I'm really into the history, and I love learning the history that these books are sharing with us about our topics. So the history of logos and corporate design and all of that, we start out with these flat logo types. So this is your font. This is IBM's logo, for example. Just picture that in your brain. That's their logo. That's so old school. Those are going by the wayside because they don't speak to the personality that's inside of your brand.
Right.
So instead, what he inspires us to look for are those moving graphics, those motion graphics. So take, for example, I'm trying to think of an example that would be American and Canadian. Well, you've seen logos before that maybe blink when they come on, or they have a little wiggle where it's a static. You're used to this logo as a static image, but now it seems to have personality behind it. Now there's a bit of a character there. I'm sure there's a cell phone company in the States that has like this X logo and the head bobbles around, right? It's great as a static image. It identifies your brand. It does all of that traditional stuff, but it also, now when you put motion behind it, now it speaks to personality, it comes alive, and it's more useful in the way that we're consuming our content nowadays. Short form content, you see just that logo moving, you don't even need to have your brand name show up, right?
Yeah.
Recognition, super cool.
I've cut that out even in my own YouTube channel. Like sometimes I barely even put up my logo in the bottom right corner. Like I just feel like people are slowly getting sick of the fluff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's just like they just want it. Like just give them the information. That's it. Like if you're a big guy, like you're in like the hundreds of thousands, even the million subscribers or whatever the case might be, sure, you've started out with like an intro and this massive flashy logo and whatnot. Keep it. That worked for you then. It's still going to work for you now. But I think like the brand new people getting into this game, keep things to a minimum. Keep it. Get the information out first, and then you can start adding as you go. If your brand calls for it, essentially, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but in terms of just you're bringing personality to your logos, having just hiring someone off Fiverr to just animate your logo for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just do something, because it does two things. It breathes that life. It gives your brand that personality, but it also is a psychological trick. When we see things that are moving and flashing on screen, even if it's something small, it's going to keep our attention a little bit longer. So that's kind of cool too.
Absolutely.
And you know what's awesome? When you have a jingle to go with it.
Yes.
Something like ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm loving it. I was going to say KARS, Cars for Kids.
Yes, that's when you've gone from not just the logo design, but your brand is a jingle, a nice little jingle that people can hear, and they automatically triggers in their mind. What do you think? Wow, I want. When's the last?
Now I'm hungry. I
Yeah,
want
when's the
fries.
last time I've had McDonald's fries?
Exactly. Through the benzene smoke, I think I can smell a quarter pounder in my future.
Oh, baby.
Uh-oh.
I got a
All right,
McDonald's
so
down the
let's
street
move
too.
from innovation
Yes.
to validation. So this, I want to start this conversation off with I'm just going to read straight from the book, because he shares something quite interesting over a couple pages here. So the new communication model is this section. The standard model for communication has three components: a sender, a message, and a receiver. The sender, who's your company, develops a message. That could be in the form of a web page, an ad, brochure, direct mail, etc., etc. And then we send it to the receiver, who's your target audience. This is the communication process, the old way of doing it.
Yes.
What this model fails to recognize is the real world communication is a dialogue. So mass market communication, that's the old style. But when we're sitting down and we're engaging with our friends over coffee, we don't just send a message and then that's it. No, we receive messages, right? We go back and forth. There's a dialogue, there's an intrigue, there's a next step, there's an evolution in the conversation. So you may say it only to yourself, or I say something to you and you say it back. You may say it only to yourself, like when you read a magazine ad, but your brain is nevertheless an indispensable component of the total communication system. You respond by buying the advertised brand, or by mentally storing the information for future use, or by simply turning the page. With the standard communication model, the sender doesn't know and seemingly doesn't care how the receiver actually responds. Whoa.
That's interesting.
So the old model, linear. The standard model is an antique. Today, we can no longer afford to close our eyes, catapult a message into the ether, cross our fingers, and hope that it hits the target. Companies need feedback. Feedback turns communication into something more than a theater performance, than a magazine. If you're dying on stage, the audience lets us know. The feedback is immediate, unambiguous, and lets us make appropriate changes before the next performance. When we solicit feedback from customers, the communication model has a fourth component. The sender creates a message, sends it to the receiver, and instead of stopping there, the communication continues as the receiver sends a message back. With every turn around the feedback loop, the communication gets stronger and more focused. The new model is a blueprint for revolution. It transforms the marketing communication into a contact sport and spectators into full participants. So that's the new model.
Yeah. I'll tell you something funny. I had a comment on one of my on my videos with someone asking me about, will this process still work? And I said, yes, it will work. And when you go out there and you test it, your audience is going to tell you. You said, well, yeah, I put it out there and I didn't get a response. And I said, Yeah.
That's your audience telling you.
That's your answer. So feedback, no feedback is feedback.
Yeah.
No feedback is feedback. Yeah.
So in the world of creating content, for example, that's generally the umbrella term we're going to use for the kinds of ads in Facebook, the messages that we're sending out to people. So in the world of content now, in the digital world, boy, oh boy, are we blessed with opportunities to create that feedback loop. We have comment sections that we can engage in a conversation. We have live streams here where we can bring up your questions, comments, concerns, or your knock jokes, just putting it out there. And we can bring them up. My favorite. We can bring up your comments. We can engage with them. We can respond to them live. We can have a conversation. Heck, you can even show up live on camera and we can have that conversation. We can have that feedback loop right there for the whole world to see. We have analytics we can check to see how people are responding. If we're putting out ad content, our ad content dashboards will show us beautifully who we're targeting and how well we are doing at that. We have platforms that can help us build lookalike audiences that, again, are allowing us these feedback loops. We have so many opportunities. I think we actually, a lot of people forget and they kind of dismiss that super important part of the loop. What do you think about that, Mark?
When you were talking about feedback loop, it's something I forgot to tell you guys. I almost forgot to tell you. You remember how we were reading the last book with Pat Flynn's super fans, and I was hashtagging Pat Flynn, and he was actually tagging and retweeting my post? Yes. Well, guess what? Guess what? This comment comes from LinkedIn. And I posted our video on LinkedIn and I mentioned Marty Neumeier and I got a comment. But guess where I got this comment from? It came from, the user's name was Level C. And it said, have you heard about Marty's branding program called Level C?
Ooh.
Yeah. How about that? So it's either someone from either Marty or someone from Marty's team actually commented and reached out and saw that we're doing this book club and reading the brand gap. So I looked into it and I said, what is this Level C? So Level C is what it's a joint venture with Marty Neumeier and Andy Starr. Okay.
This is cool. Let me bring it up for everyone
Marty
to see.
Marty Neumeier and Andy Starr. It says it is the world's most visionary brand educate and challenge, founded by Andy Starr and Brandy Neumeier, and they do workshops. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna reach back out to Level C and see if we might be able to have a chat about it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by the simplicity of this brand, but the impact of it.
Wow, that's a really hot site.
Look at the images. Look at the images.
I want to be with these people. These are my people. Oh, look, Lefty, it's your people.
Molly, maybe if you take the course, you get a picture on the wall. Maybe that's how it works.
Probably. That would make sense. That would make sense. Oh, let's get our branding back here. Oh, that feels better. Feels better. Well, that is fantastic. We love taking things a step further. I have the motto in life, why not? Why not? Give it a go. Actually, I was living in New Zealand for a little bit, and it was the Kiwis who were like, just give it a go. Just try. If you have this wild idea, why not? Like, what is the harm in reaching out on a tweet, right? Like, people tweet millions of tweets a day, but you might actually get something really awesome out of it. A new opportunity, a new partnership, a new collaboration, a new idea, or hey, let's be real, a new friend.
Yeah.
Let's just put it out there. Social isolation for entrepreneurs is real.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a little bit of feedback loop for our BBBC. Yeah, I think Level C said, "I really like what you're doing."
Nice. Nice.
That's pretty bold.
That's
That's
pretty
pretty
cool.
bold. I like
They're-
that. Which
they're up
actually
there.
brings us to the next chapter, which is Cultivate.
Yeah.
So Mark, tell me about cultivation. What are your thoughts on that? Because you just did that.
Yeah. You have 206 bones in your body. Surely one of them is creative.
I love that.
Oh my goodness. I love how this book is just kind of like short bursts of real good nuggets of marketing gold, marketing and branding gold, marketing and branding gold. Cultivating is it's not for the weak.
Yeah.
It's probably not for the weak. You know, I was listening to something just the other day, and this person said, he said, yeah, you know, we first put this out there and we got no a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we got a no, we just knew that we were going to get closer to accomplishing our goal. And we understood that you go through the no's, it's a part of it. But I think that, you know, I think sometimes people think it's instantaneous, but people won't always, you know, fall in line. I say fall in line right away, but it's like, okay, when you think about the songs that you like, and you may hear them one time on the radio and you're like, I don't really like that song. Yeah, I don't like the beat. You know what?
Yeah.
They should have not used that kick drum or whatever, right? Then you hear it again. You hear it again. You hear it again. You hear it again. And then it starts to, as they say, it starts to grow on you. And that's kind of the cultivating part for me. And it's always continuing to actually put in and cultivate, throw in some seeds, throw in some water, you know, nurture those relationships, and always continue to, you know, continue giving. Yeah.
I love it. Well, we got to wrap this episode up very, very soon. So final thoughts. What are our final scores out of 5? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We do thumbs here. Okay. So thumbs up, middle, or down. Is this book still going to be relevant now and in 5 years? I think absolutely. So Brand Gap, you get 3 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Hey, we should make that 5 thumbs up. So for those of you watching live or on the replay, no matter what channel you are watching on, let me know what your rating is. Out of 5 stars, how many stars would you give the Brand Gap, even just based on the information we've shared with you through our discussions? What are your thoughts? If you have ideas, if you've read the Brand Gap, if you want to read the Brand Gap, let us know down in the comments. This has been a fantastic book. Lefty, thank you so much for recommending this. I'm looking forward. I'm just making the executive decision.
Yes,
we're going to throw the brand flip onto our reading list for 2024 because we're already filling out 2023, which is exciting. Talking about new books, let's introduce next week's book. This is Give. Oh, again, another book recommended by Lefty. So, Lefty, tell us about why we need to learn about Facebook ads.
Nicholas Kuzmic.
Why you need to learn about Facebook ads? Well, because unlike Facebook is the next second biggest advertiser next to Google, right?
Mhm.
And sure, it's fine and dandy when you can go off and pay somebody else to do it. And of course, we as business owners cannot do everything. But when you do give your money to somebody else, you should, even to the bare bones, know what you're giving it to, because a lot of the times it's just a matter of like, oh yeah, we're going to pay ads, we need $5,000, we need this, we need that, there you go, end of story, we'll just give you your results at the end of the month, and you're just like, oh, okay. Right? This is
Okay.
this book is a fantastic way, if you're not doing it yourself, or if you are doing it yourself, to at least have a good understanding of, when you are investing, where your money is going and how.
Yeah, I agree.
I love that.
If you have failed, if you have ran Facebook ads in the past and failed miserably, you need to tune in and watch us as we go through this book. Better yet, get the book.
And what's
Yeah.
awesome, because we know y'all are busy and it's summer, so you should be digging your feet into the sand. Or if you're down under, you're enjoying winter break, maybe you're cozy inside. But Give is such a quick little book.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go through it next week. 1 week, 1 episode only. So first off, you better show up. Second of all, we do we have copies to give away of this one?
Yes, I do have copies to give away.
Ooh.
I do have copies to give
my
away.
friend,
I don't
if
have
you
my
are-
copy with me, but I'm going to let you guys take the reins next week, and I'm just going to put in my 2 cents.
If you guys want a copy, you want to enter into our first official book club giveaway, then whether you're watching live or on the replay, wherever you are, I want you to comment "Give me give" as the comment for this week.
I know
and
you're
we
watching.
we'll have a conversation, because the three of us, we have this lovely group chat, and we're gonna keep tally of how many people are give me giving, and we'll have a little giveaway. So
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah.
I know
do whatever you can to impress us, because we like giving things away.
I see
Yes,
you
we do.
watching out there, Tracy, Brandon, Tony, Paul, James, Janice,
See you.
Sharon.
Be like Sharon.
Give
Be
me give.
like Sharon. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining us this week. We'll see you again next week, same bat time, same bat channel, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Join us with your warm beverage, your caffeine, or your nightcap, depending on where you're at. Till we see you again, my friends, remember, we love you, and be excellent to each other.